Usual Sunday deck showcase. Give me just a moment to finish the technical setups here. Okay, looks like everything's working just fine here. So, hope everyone's excited for the tournament later today. I know I am. But in the meantime, let's look at one of my latest projects here. Fairy Queen being the new card from the Battle Pass. She is really cool, really fun, and very powerful. So I've been playing around and trying her out in a few different things and variations. Hey Jay, thanks for stopping by. She's definitely quite good, and everyone get. I'm not I'm not sure she's unbalanced. Like their deck definitely has some bad matchups, but it is definitely up there. It's definitely probably top 5 decks right now, but I'm not convinced it has an issue either. But we'll circle back around to bad matchups and such a little bit later once we've talked a little bit more about the list here. But so this is very much pretty much a dedicated Fairy Queen list. That you can go more Last Will focus, or she can just be kind of a decent card to throw into any deck. But she really shines in this deck very specifically. That is very focused around her, which is kind of a minimalistic Last Will control package. So we've got a few things going on here. We've got decent amount of draw here, like with great early game tempo. Centaur, you don't really play him in the early game, but you can if you need to. Very, very powerful anti-aggro, anti-burn. We've got Skeletal Pirate and Wolf, who are draw and tutors for important cards in the deck, and of course Gorilla Fighter can go and find any of those. I only run 3 Last Will cards in this deck: Skeletal Pirate, Fairy Queen, and Living Vines. Thus the deck's name here, because it's all about Fairy Queen and Living Vines, and Clematis is the Queen of the Vines. So the reason I've opted for this very minimalistic Last Will package here. Now, Gorilla is a very good card, but very balanced and very important for the state of the game. Like, he kind of keeps aggro in check. There are a lot of powerful three. Oh no, he's only in maybe half of my lists. He's a very good card, but he's certainly not in all of my decks. Like there's a good amount of competition in the 3-drop area. I do not think he needs a nerf at all. I think he's a very important anti-aggro tool that keeps the meta healthy. He's not in every deck, but he's in a lot of decks. Like he's almost a staple, which is just about right. Anyways, back to what we were talking about. So, I run only these 3 Last Will cards for 2 reasons. One, these are the ones I want in my hand, so I want Skeletal Pirate to be finding them. And every other Last Will we put in the deck means Skeletal Pirate might find the wrong thing, or Obnoxious Parrot may activate on the wrong thing. So that's why we're very, very just laser focused on this little Last Will package, so we don't run into any issues of overriding our Last Will effect for Parrot or searching for Skeletal Pirate. And then, of course, the other reason is the less Last Will we put in here, the more room we have for our control tools and meta tech. So, we've got things like Beast Mode and Killer Rabbit, who are just very, very strong removal tools. Beast Mode kind of doubles as our Dispel. Of course, we've got Dread Pirate Roberts, because he's, the most broken card in the game and goes into every pirate deck's period. If you're making a pirate deck, this is the card you put in first. Dagger Storm and Man the Cannons give us very powerful AoE and are also pretty much staples. The Dagger Storm is not like mandatory, but Man the Cannons feels pretty mandatory, and I think I run Dagger Storm in all of my pirate decks. It's just really good. Of course, we've got our little bit of heals as well to deal with burn. And then Maldrin in here. I didn't have Maldrin at first, because I don't really have any specific synergy with him, but he is just a good card in general. The reason I put him back in is because this deck can very specifically struggle against kind of late game control lists that have like a more powerful in-game combo than we do. So like Leviathan Screams is really hard on it, but Maldron just completely invalidates Screams of the Fallen. So this boy can absorb 63 damage from Screams of the Fallen, which would otherwise be a really hard matchup. So Maldron just completely solves that matchup for us. So I mean, he's just a good card in general. So he made his way back in. For a while there, I was kind of leaving Maldron out because he was a little bit slow, didn't have immediate impact, and was very vulnerable to Paladin. But just the way he shuts down Screams means he's going into a lot of my decks these days. And I kept talking about our late game combo, and this deck has one big trick, and the big key to it is you save Living Vines and Fairy Queen, ideally with one Living Vines played the turn before, for the 10 gold turn, and then you play Document Forgery at the same time. This gets you some immediate value out of your big last will effects, and more importantly, it ensures that those last will effects are in your parrot pool without risk of you playing a Fairy Queen, then it gets dispelled, and now parrot never gets a target. Because parrot can activate off of a Document Forgery's activation, that's the big key to the deck, is waiting for that magic 10 gold play, and if you're lucky, you'll also have some Living Vines on the field and similar. And, that's kind of the deck, so we've probably talked about it too much already, so let's go ahead, see if we can find ourselves some games here. Oh, that was quick here. Ah, I see Jay has come to join. Oh, okay, you're playing probably a Screams deck over there. We'll see. I used to be very afraid of this matchup, but Maldron kind of makes it a non-issue. But I'm still very afraid of like the green-black variant or like blue-black Leviathans. Those are pretty hard ones. So I mean, we've got good answers to Leviathan. Anyway, so between Rabbit and Beast Mode, we've got good answers to Leviathan, but that's not what we're worried about in this matchup. As for my starting hand there, I threw away my last will stuff because I don't need that till way late in the game. Right now I'm just looking for my early game tutors. Let's see here. We're not too worried about getting pressured out, and we don't have... if I had like 2 pirates or a pirate and a wolf, I would probably coin out the pirate, but because I don't, we're just going to kind of save that to get an early owlbear. Or an early Robins, because, owlbear or Robins on curve are very deadly. Of course, if we don't have a last will in hand, this choice kind of gets made for us, and we'll be doing Dread Pirate Robins. But we've kind of got a last will in the bank here with this little skeleton pirate, so not too worried about that. Let's see here. So we're not worried too much about AoE and field wipes in these colors at this gold count. So I think we're just going to double block. Now, we could get punished by the charging treant spell. So with that in mind, maybe I should trade in this pirate. I mean, we know for sure we're putting a peasant here. It's just a question of, do we want to make this trade now, or do we want to wait? If we don't make the trade, we could get punished a little bit by the treant spell, but also this isn't exactly great value for the treant spell, so probably not worth it for him either. We're not worried about Just trying to think if there's any reason for me to not trade. No, we're going to trade this pirate in. Like, these colors don't have great spot control, and any spot control they did have, they probably don't want to spend on a peasant. So we're just going to do that so we don't risk something weird happening. And besides, we wanted to make sure we had a last will in the bank for Owlbear. So we could do pirate, we could do Robins here, but he might get taken out a little too easily, whereas these do not trade into Owlbear well. So we're going to go for the Owlbear play and hopefully play Robins on a little bit cleaner of a field. So we're just going to plop down our Owlbear here where he can protect our supply depot and threaten castle. Okay, he answers with his own Owlbear there. Shame we don't have a beast mode in hand to very cleanly answer that. So, I'm going to have to make some decisions here. I'm not sure. We don't want to do rabbit because there's too many targets on board for that to get messed up with. We probably want to just kill the guerrilla fighter and then establish our Robins. I think no matter what I suppose I could gamble and try to dagger storm into a beast mode, but I think we're just going to take the safe play here, come up, clear this, and we'll set up a Dread Pirate in a relatively safe position where it should be able to clean up that Con Artist for us. We are taking a bit of a risk of, him having a way to clear this Owlbear and getting 8 damage to face, but we're also not too worried about getting burned down in these colors, although true, it does have some powerful burn now, but we also have a lot of healing. So we're just going to kind of set up this defensive play. There's some small risk to getting that 8 damage slap on face, but I think we can afford that right now in this matchup. Ideally, he has to trade his Owlbear into my Owlbear, which is very much in my favor. Then Robins gets to move forward and clean up. Okay, yeah, there's the Forest Revolt. We kind of were expecting to see that, which now we're going to take that painful 8 slap to the face. And then he's most likely going to... I wonder if he's going to push face damage or if he is going to clean up the Robins. It'd be a shame for him to waste this last treant, but getting double procs on Robins doesn't feel great either. He probably should have cleaned up the Robins. Okay, that's a smart play. He's getting that damage into Robins, even though it does give me a proc there. But the problem with that is now, now I can do the Centaur play, and I'm going to get yet another proc out of Robins here because of that. Let's see, but I do need to do this correctly because we need to set up a rabbit to kill this Owlbear. Yeah, okay, so we're just going to forgo the Centaur's taunt here to just get our heal set up. And yeah, we have very clean, we get another card from him, and we get to guarantee kill this Owlbear with a backline bunny that's out of reach of the wolf. So that's why I was saying he really should have just taken his opportunity to kill that Robins now, because now I'm just going to get probably at least one more proc. I've gotten 2 with the possibility for a 3, which is really rough. Robins is just such a nasty card. I mean, given he could potentially dispel or beast mode it now, but the fact that I've gotten 2 procs out with the potential for a 3rd, and now is going to require some additional investment for him to get rid of. Okay. But, alright, so it ended up working out for him there, though. Simply because that's the same as if he had traded in. So that worked out fine. Alright, well, let's see here. We could do a Harker play. Or we could, let's see. Now let's get another Owlbear out while we have good time for it. although we might draw another bunny, but drawing a bunny is fine, because bunny trades very cleanly into these things here. Can I guarantee the wolf? Or 1, 2, 3, 4... Okay, well I can't guarantee the attack on the wolf, but we're going to... Well, I could have guaranteed the attack on the wolf if I'd positioned this wolf down a space, but then that would have left me vulnerable to taking a little bit of free damage, so... We're just gonna hope this goes for the wolf. If it doesn't, it's not a big deal. Be a good rabbit. Ah, bad rabbit. Now we hope it goes for the wolf again, but there's no bad option either. Oh, good. Oh, perfect. We're going to get triple value out of this rabbit, and now we're going to get an owlbear play in here. Transitioning into where our big late game combos start happening. And we got a ton of mileage out of that rabbit. Probably want to get these frost liches. Well, okay, frost liches actually might be fine. We'll play them on the 9 gold turn here, since we don't have a living vines. Let's see here. Options. Okay, I think we're going to do a little digging, because a beast mode would be very nice right now. Let's see here. Do I want to? I think we're going to do the Harker play. So let's move this forward. We'll play the because yeah, this lets us do Harker, Touch of Life, and hopefully a beast mode as well. Sad, no beast mode, but that's okay. Do we want to take this trade? Yeah, we probably do. I think we want to clean this up regardless. Shame we didn't get a beast mode, but alas, that's okay. We'll probably hold off on the Fairy Queen just a little bit, see if maybe we can get some Frost Liches out before we go for the document play. And we've got our Scream security here. Okay, so yeah, we're just gonna get these Frost Liches out to hopefully start doing some work. Let's, do we want to take advantage of this taunt? I guess we're really not too worried about it. We're gonna have the Centaur taunt anyways now. Yeah, so let's play the Gorilla Fighter just a little further forward. Get a nice little heal here. And then we're going to get set up for very nice potential document turn, because these colors don't exactly have a lot of field wipes. He's already spent 1 Witch Doctor, so we very potentially could get a pretty devastating document turn coming up here. However, I still may yet want to delay the... Okay, there's the Witch Doctor. Okay, well, alright, he did get the nice little board clear, but on the bright side, this means we're not playing that risk of one of these polluting our document pool here. Alright, come on, shark. Go kill the pirate for me. Be a good shark. Bad shark. Well, I think we are still going to do the document play here. Because it's pretty clean. And it'll also draw us a Living Vines, which will be very nice for the follow-up turn. So let's just go ahead and move that forward. And we'll do the document forgery. Now, right now we have... Okay, I think we saw the Skeletal Pirate go off second there, so that's an important thing to note. We do not want to be playing any parrots right now, because Skeletal Pirate's going to mess us up if that's the case. Okay, let's see here. Do we just take the clean trades? Yeah, I think we just take the clean trades. So yeah, we need to be very conscious of the fact that this pirate is currently messing up the parrot pool. If we get really desperate, we can always Frost Blast our own Skeletal Pirate. That actually may be our play next turn, is we Frost Blast the pirate and then play Living Vines. Then again, just playing if Fairy survives the turn, just playing another document for. Oh yeah, I mean, if Fairy survives the turn, like Living Vines and Document Forgery are 100% our next turn here. He's gone through both Witch Doctors too, so we're just really not worried about overextending and spamming our stuff at this point. Fairy lives through the turn. It's probably game over. I do not see him being able to come back from Fairy surviving this turn. Ah, okay, his own Fairy. His own Fairy does make this a little more difficult, because if we play documents now, then Fairy Queen is going to activate as well. So I think we're going to forgo our own Living Vines for the moment. Instead, we're going to just get this Fairy Queen popped. Let's see, we've got a very clean Frost Blast, Dagger Storm to pop the Fairy, then I can man the cannons to clean that up. Still not ideal though, because we would like to be playing our document. Well, okay, maybe we won't play the cannons, maybe we'll play the document forgery. Let's see here. Alright, well, either way, we're playing this Dagger Storm. Actually, no. Let's play the Frost Blast first. Doesn't really matter. We'll play the Dagger Storm first. Now we'll Frost Blast. And now we just decide, do we go for the document forgery? Or do we just clean... It is a very nice clean with these cannons. So I think we're going to save the document forgery to try and hopefully do the Vines play next turn, because this is a very clean man the cannons play. Yeah, we'll snipe the post. We'll snipe the post. We'll go block the post threatening spot over here. So, alright, we've stalled a little further on our follow-up documents. But even if we lose the Fairy Queen, it's no big deal, because just Vines documents is pretty good on its own. Ooh, I think Fairy Queen's good. Oh, Fairy Queen. Oh boy, this is beautiful. We're going to get the Living Vines, Fairy Queen, and Document Forgery. This is very nice. Beautiful. This is the dream here. I think we're out of Blast Will though, so... Oh no, we did have another Vines in the deck. Very cool. Okay, so... I didn't catch the order that went off. Crap. Ah, dang. Did anyone else catch the order? Which was the last effect to go off? It's fine. Alright, so 3... awkward here, because we have to... If we want... Yeah, okay, I think we unfortunately need to trade in our Fairy Queen at this point. Not ideal. But we want a clean trade into this owlbear. And now we're also currently set for Parrot. The drawback, of course, being, this pirate here could still mess up our parrot play at any time. But we still have a Living Vines that, we can we're probably just going to avoid playing this Living Vines until this pirate dies. But of course, we're also just in a very commanding position right now. That's going to be really hard for him to come back. He's out of Witch Doctors. Screams of the Fallen doesn't help him, and this is a lot of pressure on his face. I can't think of much that would let him come back at this point here. Okay, Mirror will do some damage and buy him some time. He's surrendering. Okay, but that's kind of what the deck does. It's very powerful. It's very consistent. It is extremely consistent. It does struggle against, well, we won't spoil some of our future streams here because we'll almost definitely be spotlighting this deck soon here, so little spoiler there, but yeah, like Leviathan Ramp this might be the actual best deck in the game, followed by Crusader Ninjas and Last Will, but we'll see. Like there's a lot left to explore in the meta, a lot more optimization to be done. Okay, we've got both our queues going. I do really like white-black too. They're definitely a fun list. But it doesn't have a great answer to this setup. I mean, they do have beast modes, so beast mode alone means you have a good chance. Because if you can beast mode a Fairy Queen or a Living Vines, like this deck can just roll over and die, which is all the more reason why it's very important to wait for that 10 gold play. This is a combo deck. It is not a Last Will deck. It is a combo deck. And I have tried quite a few variations of this. Doing sunflowers is very nice. I don't run Sunflower itself, but like doing Season of Growth, Night of Flowers, and Thorndrake, that's a very nice little package that lends itself to the deck pretty nicely. Season of Growth also just completely wipes out Joan Vive-based lists, which is nice because Joan Vive is another matchup that can be a bit hard on this, because we have good AoE for small things, and we have good big single target removal, but any deck that's just putting out a bunch of like mid-range threats, that's really hard for this to answer a lot of the time. Okay, we don't need cannons or centaur this early. I do like having an early owlbear, and a gorilla fighter's nice, but we need to consider the matchup too. This is more likely than not Last Will baby dinos, so I might want to keep that cannons, but for now we're just going to work on trying to get a little better curve. Okay, Daggerstorm, that's good. That'll clean up some baby dinos, because it's a little counterintuitive in this matchup. Like, you look at it and you think, oh, I should just ignore those baby dinos, but if you ignore the baby dinos and let them sit, that'll get you into a lot of trouble. Okay, maybe it's a Leviathan ramp, or maybe it's like a discard deck as well. We've got some dragon stuff going on here, so that changes our initial impression. The red-green ramp's a pretty good deck, whether you're doing the discard focus or just raw ramp. They're both pretty solid options. I think we're going to... It depends on what his board looks like, but we're going for, yet again, that early Robins or owlbear play here. I'm going to take this trade just because, lots of AoE in those colors. So, don't want to be giving up any trades right now. Ooh, he's got the double temple out. Okay, so on an empty board, that's when you play Robins. Robins on an empty board. Very nice. Uncontested Robins. Beautiful. Does he have the answer, or am I about to get a ton of value out of this Robin? He's got a lot of gold. Like, he could even Dragon's Fire. Okay, it's the Discard Leviathan. Yeah, Discard Leviathan's a great deck. Unfortunately, I do not have... I mean, I could try to luck into a beast mode, but I think we're just going to take the trade. Well, no, we're gonna try to luck into the beast mode because this gives us a clean trade by making this play. Okay, so we didn't get the beast modes, so instead we're just going to take the clean trade. We'll get our, +1 from Robins. Not ideal, but that's fine. And then we'll establish another gorilla. We might have lucked into the beast mode there, but it didn't happen. That's okay, though. I do not want to play Joff until I have a Fairy Queen in... Oh no, I have Fairy Queen in my hand. Never mind, I want to play Joff. Joff's my next turn. I was going to play the Owlbear, but I might be able to play... there you are, Beast Mode. You're a little bit late here. But yeah, no, this is a very nice Joff turn. We already have the Fairy Queen in hand. Oh, pfft, the worst possible target for Joff left in the deck. Oh well, it happens. I think we're just going to push some damage here. Our hand is so full that I'm not worried about this post. Usually I'd probably threaten this post, but man, our hand is full. So we're just going to go for damage. Losing a beast mode really sucks. Like, not only does it mean we didn't get good treasure value, but it means, now we're in danger from those late game Leviathans, which do tend to be a bit hard on this deck. Alright, well, we've got a pretty clean Owlbear turn here. I think Owlbear and Wolf are the play here. But that 1 point of treasure does mean we have the potential to do our document shenanigans a little sooner. But oh, that was just the worst possible target. Very unfortunate, but that's okay. We've got some good pressure going here. We've got some strong combos, but that Joff discarding our beast mode could cost us this game, because we have lost one of our really important tools for dealing with Leviathans, and just what a waste. But I'll stop whining about that. Focus on what's going on here. No document forgery, but that's okay because we still may yet draw it. It's a good time to get this Living Vines set up. So we're going to plop that there. Going to come up here and protect our Living Vines from this Arbiter, which might be a foolish choice, because of how much AoE he's rocking here. But okay, that's fine. We're just going to if he blows an if he spends an AoE to clear the wolf, then it's no longer a clean trade for him anyway. So we're going to take this, we're going to establish this. So yeah, we're now starting to try to fish for those document forgeries. Yeah, normally I like to take trades, but I'm just trying to make this a little more efficient. Okay, there's the man the cannons, but again, that kind of works out to... Oh, okay, never mind. He capitalized very well on... It didn't make a difference if actually that I didn't trade in the wolf, but it did force him to expend some of his AoE, which is very good for us. Okay. We could play the Living Vines, but right now we kind of want to hold off until we've got the document forgery in our hand, because we want to do the 1-2 punch. We want to play Living Vines, and then next turn play Queen and document forgery. So now we're just going to work on some deck thinning a little bit more here. Do we have any beasts left in our deck? Do we have an Owlbear? We might have an Owlbear. Okay, yeah, we had one more Owlbear. Perfect. So, thinning the deck, establishing threats, getting some heal, topping off. And, document forgery should show up soon, and then we can do our nice little 1-2 punch there. City building. don't usually see city building in these colors. But I guess it makes sense, just kind of like fishing for the extra libraries, which is this deck's like... Okay, yeah, we're going to be running into Leviathans pretty soon here, which is going to be a bit rough having down a beast mode, but I think we'll be okay just because, you know, Fairy Queen spawns can often take out a Leviathan too, so... And if he just leaves that as the only thing on the board, yeah, we'll probably do the beast mode and save the rabbit for, well, we'll see. Decisions will need to be made, because rabbit on an empty field is ideal, but beast mode when I've got a 1 damage proc, but I've got the Daggerstorm beast mode combo here, so then again, we might do the beast mode so we can, you know, get Owlbear into face, whereas rabbit would mean we'd waste this Owlbear turn here. Let's see here. So, okay, do we dig for our... Yeah, I think we dig for our document forgery. Okay, very nice. Okay, so now we've got a very good setup. So we get to beast mode this. Unfortunate. I was hoping for any 2-drop beast except for that one. It's the only one that I can't trade in with the wolf and the centaur, but alas, it's fine. So we'll come clean that up, move in, and we will prepare for our very nice big document forgery turn next turn. And we lost, got a little unlucky there, couldn't get the clear, but that's okay. We still had a very clean, efficient turn there. And we are setting up for very nasty document turn. And we are officially reaching the point we have so much pressure on him that Leviathans are not going to be too hard for us to deal with. He is in Leviathan mode now, but it took him long enough and we got established well, and he spent a lot of his AoE early on too. Now we're going to get a very nice Fairy Queen Living Vines document play. What's wrong with Albert? Albert did get nerfed. Losing his Overwhelm was brutal. Alright. Fairy Queen Living Vines time. Okay, we want to play her down a little bit so we don't, because we don't want to get stuck in a spot where she blocks the diagonal access. Of course, Living Vines is about to block that diagonal access anyways, but with that in mind, do we... Nah, yeah, we're just not going to worry about it. Alright. Document. Very nice document forgery turn. Oh, and we got the Chain Lightning. Beautiful. Let's see here. We're taking that trade. And let's see. So this comes in here. Okay, yeah, it's clean. It's very clean. Yeah, I think that's probably the game. There's not much coming back from that, especially when we've got the obnoxious parrot follow-ups now. Like, we're not even going to need the parrot plays, but yeah, this game is over. I can't think of it. I mean, I suppose technically some really high roll Final Flash could turn this for him, but he'd have to get a real big high roll, which is possible, but yeah, this game is over. Nothing short of extreme luck on Final Flash is going to save him. We haven't even gotten... Nobody's even forced us into parrot mode yet. Like, I had so many good games yesterday when I was putting the finishing touches on this list where, you know, I really had to resort into the parrot backup plan. Yep, that's game. It's definitely a very powerful deck. I'm not convinced it's any kind of an issue though, just again because it does have a couple matchups that it can struggle with. Here, well, let's get in queue before I talk and talk. Yeah, there are a couple matchups it can struggle with, but I've teched really well because of those matchups. Because I'm aware that Screams could be hard on me, I run Maldron to shut that down completely. Because I'm aware of Leviathan control being an issue, I've got the Beast Mode Killer Rapid. I'd probably be running these even if that wasn't a matchup I was worried about, because I really like this package in general. But it's nice that they are teching very specifically for our bad matchups. And again, running into opposing beast modes or even just pterodactyl can definitely mess this deck up. So it's not unbeatable. And again, it also struggles against just big Joan Vive plays or ramp decks that are a little faster than it. It's definitely not unbeatable, but it is definitely probably in top 5 decks. And it's got it has less weaknesses than some of the other decks. And I've always liked well-rounded lists. It may not have the most raw power around. That probably goes to Pirate Viking Ramp or Ninja Joan Vive. The plays those decks can make are truly insane, but those do have some weaker matchups, whereas this one it's just got all of its bases covered, which is really nice. So it may not quite have the raw power of some of my other top picks, but it doesn't have any weaknesses, which I really like. Yeah. And I say it doesn't have weaknesses, but it does have counterplay. Despite what some people may think that, Fairy Queen is way too good, the deck does indeed have counterplay. Dispel and Transform can really give it a hard time, as can, aggressive decks. Not aggro, because it's very good against defending against aggro and burn, but aggressive mid-range. Not just you. There was another guy I was playing with yesterday who was just livid about Fairy Queen. He's like, it doesn't have counterplay because you wait till turn 10 to do the document play with her. And I'm like, well, yes, because if I don't, then the deck is kind of bad. But, you still have a chance to answer the Fairy Queen. Don't leave her sitting there for me to play a second document forgery. And, as long as you have saved a Dispel or Transform for the Fairy Queen, that is a pretty big gut punch to the deck. And then, of course, the other thing you can do is, you want to be very conscious of the order you're killing things in. If I've got a leftover Skeletal Pirate on the field, you want to make sure you kill the Queen first and then the Pirate second to mess up the Parrot plays. There's a lot of high in depth to both playing the deck and playing against it, because there are a lot of little things that can go wrong or that can mess you up. You need to be very careful with sequencing, both when you're playing as the list or against it. You don't have to clear things to get yourself in a good position. You just have to be very conscious of the order you're killing things in. As long as you're conscious of the order you're killing things in and you've saved a Dispel or a Transform, then you can really give this deck some trouble. But that being said, I'm not trying to detract from how good the deck is either. It is very powerful, very reliable, definitely probably top 5 lists here. I'm just not convinced it's any kind of an issue either, because there is a good amount of counterplay, and it does have a bit of skill to run the list as well. So I'm not getting all right. I suppose my rank is getting a little bit too high for me to queue into people now. A little unfortunate. Yeah, moment I hit elite, matches became hard to find again. That is how it goes. I'd love to rush back to my champion rank, but matchmaking is saying I gotta wait. Oh, there we go. Hey, it's another match. Ooh, okay. Jay is playing what I expect. Pro I'm still thinking that what Jay's playing is probably going to be the tournament winner, especially if Jay's played it and optimized it. So we'll have to see what's going on there, because this deck that's got everything. It's got the Sacred Ground, it's got the Dissipate, like it's got all kinds of very clean answers to what I can do, with Joan Vive being a potentially stronger than Fairy Queen late game. So this is a tough matchup, one I've been wanting to test. I'm still optimizing my take on this, but like I do definitely believe Ninja Crusaders is incredibly powerful and is probably my pick. The main downside to Ninja Crusaders is they're pretty weak against, aggro swarm. They just don't have good AoE. But because of things like Pirates and Vikings in the meta, this deck is kind of uncontested, possibly. So it's not the best deck in the game, because it does have a pretty bad matchup, but it's really rough on a lot of the other top decks. So that's why I'm predicting it's going to do really well, because I'm not expecting to see a lot of Swarm, which means this deck can run about uncontested. But we'll see. Like, there's a lot of cool stuff. The state of the game is just so good right now. Do I take the very nice little Dagger Storm play here? Or do I think we do just take the Dagger Storm play here and waste a point of gold for the turn. Could alternatively... No, okay, we're not going to be in a rush to play the Owlbear, because considering this matchup, Owlbear is likely to die immediately anyways, so instead we are just going to go ahead and slow it down a little bit and just keep developing and not been playing an efficient turn here. Let's see here. We want the wolf or the pirate? We want the wolf, because we still have a long time before we want to be digging out our last will. Besides, the wolf has 1 point higher health, so. Oh, Jay's saying he has not optimized his approach yet. Interesting. Nice little Killer Rabbit answer here. Anytime you can get 2 for 1 out of Killer Rabbit, it's really nice. And that's the ideal, is like, because you don't want Rabbit to die to a peasant, so, yeah, oh, okay. Paladin answer. Paladins can be very rude to Maldron too, which is kind of why I'd stopped playing him for a little bit there. Okay, I think this is definitely the Owlbear turn. Like, he's probably got answers to it, but I'm also just not too worried about it. Do I push for damage or do I push for card advantage? Now let's push for this, because if we can snag a Joan Vive from him, like, that's game over. I'm also not sure if I believe Jay when he says he doesn't have a good list. Jay is one of the other better players in the game, and he stood off against me in finals in the Ragnar meta without Ragnar. Okay, and yeah, as expected, we figured Owlbear was not going to get a chance to do anything at all. We saw that coming. Alright, do we go for the Harker play, or... do we... No, I think we need to play our Guerrilla Fighters right now. Just, A, he's got that obnoxiousness. B, we want to play... Since we have limited tutor targets, we want to play them early. That way, you don't waste them later on once you've run out of targets. Wotan is just a monster. Alright, I think it's cannons and pirate time, I think. Let me see, like, there's no way we can fit the Harker in and still answer the Wotan. So yeah, that's what we gotta do, because we cannot afford to leave that sticking around here. Okay, so now we're starting to transition towards our late game. Next turn we should have a nice clean Harker pirate play as well, but we'll see what happens here. Okay, very nice little... Ooh, actually, with that in mind, do I want to try and... Nah, we're gonna roll with it. We're gonna roll with it. We don't want him doing Joan-Vive next turn, so this gives us a... I could alternative... No. We're gonna do it. We're gonna do it. Now, between... Yeah. End of Days, Sacred Ground. There are a lot of things that can really mess us up in this matchup. Alright, so we are now setting up for our big document forgery turns here. So we're going to start with our little 1-2 punch. Do I want to throw down the centaur? Yeah, there's very little reason not to. We get to protect our post, we get to protect our face, and we are hopefully setting up for our very nice little 1-2 punch. Ancient War. Not taking the clean trade into the vines. Curious. I'm very surprised. Like, Jay has made a pretty big error there, because if you leave this alive, you know, now I get to do the 1-2 punch. And that was definitely a major error on his part there. Do I want to push the vines? Actually, okay, we'll let Fairy Queen help us make this decision. Alright, Fairy Queen. What do we got? Oh no! Well, actually, this is fine. This is fine. Okay, we get a... Okay, hold. Okay, so we pull back. This way we get a clean trade on these. We just now have to decide, do we want to push the vines? Yeah, I think we want to push the vines. It's probably worth healing our melted fairy too. So yeah, let's push the vines, and let's heal up that melted fairy. Although we know he's going to follow up with like an End of Days, so healing's it's probably not worth playing the centaur right now, because like this is going to be either an End of Days or a Joan-Vive turn, so we don't want to overextend. Let's just hang tight with what we got for the moment. Given End of Days isn't ideal for him, I mean, what he needs to do is he needs to Sacred Ground and then End of Days. And if he does that, like, I very well may have lost this game. But if he doesn't do Sacred Ground followed by End of Days, he could be in trouble. Like, he really made a grave error. Okay, alright, yep, he's preparing for his own 1-2 punch here now. Yep, no, this kind of stuff is exactly why I say, you know, this deck's, while powerful, not an issue, because Sacred Ground followed by End of Days, this deck very well may have rolled over and died. You know, I did prepare myself with the parrots, so, you know, it's not game over. But, you know, there's very little we can do against Joan-Vive spam now that we've lost our big tempo here. You know, hopefully parrots will be able to carry us through this game, but hard to say. And we're also not. If we got fairy on the parrot, I think we may be able to pull this off. But if we got vines on the parrot, maybe not. Ah, shit, we got vines. That sucks. Most unfortunate. Need to be very careful here not to overextend into an end of days. Dagger Storm? No. Okay, no, yeah, we just need to kind of hang tight with our hand. Yeah, it's really unfortunate that we got Living Vines for our last tick here instead of the Fairy Queen. Because now we can't get that immediate value plays, so we're very vulnerable to end of days Genevieve spam now. Yep, there's the end of days. Kind of saw that coming. Alright, so now we do a nice little owlbear. Playing at center so he can't, you know, juke it with a taunt. And then we also take the trading post play. And is it worth playing anything else? No, because we don't want to overextend until that second end of days has come. And I just that Ninja Crusader isn't the best deck in the game simply because it's got that glowing red weak point. But if that glowing red weak point doesn't show up, it's so rude to like all non-swarm decks. Okay, there's the Genevieve. Does he have the bounce for the Genevieve this turn? If he doesn't bounce Genevieve this turn, then he's in trouble. Okay. He failed to bounce Genevieve the turn he played her, which means I now probably win this game. That he needed to be more patient. If he had just waited until he could bounce Genevieve the turn he played her, he probably would have had this game. But now, it's most likely my game. Because I managed to steal the Genevieve after all. And if we're really lucky, we'll even get a Fairy Queen back in our pool here. Alright, come on, Fairy Queen. No Fairy Queen. But, not a bad setup either. Not bad at all. I do think he could have won this game if he was a little more patient. But, you know, that being said, like, it isn't game over. I have approached deck out. So all he has to do is stall me for a little bit longer, and he very well still may be able to win. Oh, I'm surprised he did that rather than getting the Genevieve, waiting for the Genevieve to get injured there. Interesting. Right, but yeah, he's just planning on the deck out approach at this point. Playing draw power could get me in trouble, so. Now I need to kill this Genevieve off. It's too risky leaving her alive. not overextend into that end of days. He very well may be able to beat me with deck out damage, so we'll see what happens here. I'm very end of days resistant with these vines, but I also, you know, if I play a bunch of other stuff, I could get in trouble. It doesn't feel great to... Yeah, it's still probably... Alright, so it's probably Dagger Storm, 5, 9, 10, 11... I can't play all of those, though. Awkward. Okay, I think we come here. Get some damage in. Definitely playing the document forgery while we can. Yeah, we're in trouble. I may have spoke too soon. Okay, I need to commit, because if he has the end of days right now, like, I'm losing regardless, but if he doesn't, I have the chance to pressure in a victory right now. So we're just going to commit, because this is kind of our last chance here. You know, and I don't think if... Normally I'd like to space that out a little bit and wait for the end of days first and then put this one out, but we can't afford that. Right now we need to take the initiative and pray he doesn't have end of days part 2. If he doesn't have end of days part 2, we've got a very good chance here. Oh, he surrendered. I guess he did not have the end of days. No, but me stealing the Genevieve wasn't the concern. The concern was you not having her around to bounce. Like, it was very likely I was going to be able to beast mode her. That's what you needed to play around. Losing your opportunity to spam Genevieve cost you dearly there. The fact that I managed to steal her is, you know, why I managed to win at all. Because otherwise I very likely could have died to the deck out. But, yeah, it was... Bouncing Genevieve is not the main meat. I mean, yeah, swordsman abuse is pretty good, but, like, I still think bouncing Genevieve is the root of what makes that deck good, with swordsman being the secondary part. I think had you just been a little more patient and waited till you could bounce Genevieve the turn you played her, you would have had that game. I'm pretty sure this deck is, you know, in its final form. I can't think of much else that could improve what we've got going on here. You know, I did have, like, Crab in here for a while as another win condition, but I think the deck's got enough in the way of win con here. You know, we've teched pretty well against our bad matchups like Leviathan Control and Screams. We really don't need to ramp in this list simply because, you know, it takes a while for us to assemble our combo. So, you know, Harker gives us enough ramp. I've been debating between Harker and Crab, but I'm leaning towards Harker now just simply because, you know, Harker gives us a clean curve, the potential to combo early, buys us time, whereas Crab is an incredibly powerful staple that I like to put in the majority of decks, but I think that's just a little bit overkill on win cons. Genesis is another strong consideration, but I'm kind of in the boat of if you manage to stick one of your big last wills for a turn and it survives, you're probably winning that game anyways. And Genesis is then kind of win more at that point. which is kind of my feelings for Genesis in general. Like, it is in theory an incredibly powerful card, and it will absolutely secure games, and it can be used defensively too against your opponent's big stuff. But most of the time, it feels like a win more card. And I don't really want to win more. I want to improve my hard matchups in the hard games. I'd rather rely on my skill for the closer games rather than taking the win more. That being said, like, it's a strong card, especially at 6 cost. It's very, very viable. If you find yourself struggling, in the late game because you can't quite get your sequencing right, Genesis may help you just make a lot of even games easy. But it's a thought. We don't need Elephant because, Maldron just stops Screams dead in its track. Ranger's nice, but nothing we really need. We probably don't have the Swarm support to support his charge, and we've got enough healing between Centaur and Touch of Life. Alright, yeah, an earlier version of the list I did have, like, the Torgan Abuse engine in here, because, bunnies and owlbear multiplication is nice, but I find just it's too much tempo loss trying to play Torgan and or pack hunting. Like, and again, it's just that's kind of like a long-term win condition, and we've already got quite a few of those, so it's got potential. Like, you could probably do a beast variant of this deck that could be good, but I don't like the tempo loss for this list. Like, I'm not saying beasts aren't a good deck, like especially the Ninja Torgan list. I think Ninja Torgan list has some serious potential to be a top deck. It just hasn't been super well explored. There is somebody that showcased it, but my version and the more optimized take of it looks pretty different from that showcase. But I think Ninja Beasts have potential to be one of the best decks in the game, but I don't really like her outside of there a lot, just because it's a pretty big tempo loss. Privateer is always like a good card in a deck when you're not running any other contraband. Right, Batch is a question over here. No, rats absolutely go into the revive pool. Do not play rats and Joan Vive in the same deck. Do not do that. Do not play rats and Joan Vive in the same deck. Peasants are unique with that mechanic. So yeah, Resource Privateer is very good in a deck that isn't running other contraband, but I'm not a gambling man, so we don't need it. Again, there's nothing we'd want to take out for it. I'm just trying to think, well, what gives us the most trouble is Leviathan control, so I'm just keeping my eye out for anything that might help in that matchup specifically. But I think we've already... Okay, Southport Slayer could help, but Leviathan Control usually can answer Southport Slayer just fine. Sea Witch is always nice. Sea Witch is a card I would like to include here, because Sea Witch just does so much. Okay, we've got a matchup. Oh, is it a mirror? Could be a mirror. Yeah, so again, when I have to choose between Wolf and Pirate, I tend to go for Wolf first, because Beast is our mid-game, Last Will is our late game, so we want to get our Beast stuff going first. We've got plenty of time to find the Last Will engine. I do think we are in a mirror. Nope, I am sadly not in this tournament. I committed to casting rather than playing, which is a shame. Initially when I volunteered to be in the tournament, it was during one of the worst game states that this game was in. We had the RNG Berserk and Ninja Supremacy, and nothing else was viable, and it was all just Ninja Burn and RNG. I'm like, I don't really want to play this game right now. And then the tournament was best of one single elimination. I'm like, oh, that format's awful. You know what? No, forget it. I don't want to play. I don't want to play. This is the perfect time for me to go ahead and take a step back and just watch some other people play and comment. And then, of course, like shortly after I committed, then we get several just amazing back-to-back patches, and the game went into the best state it's ever been in. And then the tournament got changed to double elimination. And I'm like, oh man, I want to play so bad now, but I'm committed. I'm committed. And I messed up. I could have had a very good centaur play there, but I guess instead we're just going to go for a little bit of draw and see what happens. I suppose we could still just do the centaur play. Like, it's not like we're worried. We're not going to need healing in this matchup. Like, this castle health is going to have almost nothing to do with how this game's going to pan out. It's going to come down almost entirely to who gets the better board presence and or who beast modes the enemy problems first. This is a little tricky here because I really do want to save a beast mode for that end game stuff, but I think it's too risky to give Robins a chance to breathe here, so of course I don't have an answer, so never mind. Statement retracted. I guess it's just owlbear time because we don't have a... I mean, I could try to dagger storm into it, which is what I was kind of considering, but it's just not worth it. Unfortunately, he's going to get a hit off on Robins, and there's not much we can do about it. But next turn we'll see. We'll see what happens here. He's probably going to get 2 hits off of Robins actually, which is really unfortunate for us. Yeah, right. Robin's just deciding games. Robin's is so broken. Robin is the most broken card in the game. This card needs nerfs. It's the only card that truly needs nerfs still, I think. So I mean, obviously I'm abusing him too. Like, why wouldn't I? But like, ugh. All right. Come on. Let's see here. So we could look for the beast mode. Or we could play the man the cannons play. Very unfortunate turn here. I think we're gonna do the Dagger Storm. Ooh, is that a cancel magic? Oh, very nice. Do I have a way to guarantee a rabbit? Okay, if I bring owlbear down here... Okay, I think I can guarantee the rabbit on the Robins. Okay, so he is going to get one more Robins proc, which definitely sucks for us, but at least we're cleaning that up now. I am getting 2 Robins proc this early. Could definitely be bad news for us. Oh, he wasted a beast mode on an owlbear. That's not a good... That's one beast mode he doesn't have for my Robins or my Fairy Queen, but, I guess he's feeling confident after getting those 2 Robin procs. Which, I mean, can't blame him. Like, Robins is ridiculous. So this could be anybody's game. Alright, be a good wolf. Attack the Manticore. Be a good wolf. Attack the Manticore. Bad! Bad wolf. Fine. We'll just play the Living Vines instead. Hey, Cookie. Thanks for stopping by. Well, I guess it's still going to attack the Manticore. Never mind. Good wolf. Like, you did well. I think we're just playing the Living Vines regardless here. Little early, but that's okay. Wait a second. Is Beast Mode an epic card? It is. Oh, okay. That may have been a Beast Mode he stole with Robins. That may be why he was so willing to play it. Do I want to... It's awfully early. No, I think we want to save these for the 1-2 punch later. Let's just get to drawing and see what that does for us. Rabbit. Rabbit's pretty good right now. Actually, yeah, this is pretty clean. Yeah, okay, we'll take the rabbit. This is pretty clean. Oh, another beast mode. Yeah, I'm thinking he stole some beast modes with this Dread Pirate. Nice to have a document forgery in our hand here, because we really kind of want to just save these now for the 1-2 punch later on. But that's good. We've got a Dread Pirate, so we've got options. Just don't want to play the Dread Pirate while this big threat here. I suppose that's true. I suppose that is true. There is definitely... Ooh, okay. Yeah, it's time for 1-2 punch time. It is time for 1-2 punch. And again, we're going to do something a little awkward here. We're going to play this Living Vines way in the back, because we do not want it to die before we are ready for next turn here. He's going to get the treant value off of these forgeries, but you know what? I can live with that. I could have alternatively, you know, Robins should not be able to steal legends. Robins is the most broken card in the game. I could have potentially done a beast mode here, but no, we want to save beast mode for Fairy Queen or maybe another Living Vines. So yeah, we're setting up for a very, very nice 1-2 document forgery punch here. Now, of course, his deck has a unique capability to counterplay my next turn simply by putting out... Oh, I forgot to attack my wolf. Oh well. Simply by putting out another Last Will unit. But if he doesn't play... Oh, okay. Okay, Harker actually... That's a pretty solid move. Because I can no longer do the 1-2 punch, which is most unfortunate. So it's probably just a man the cannon's turn. Looks like I'm not going to be able to save this Vines like I was hoping. So we may just need to... Maybe it's not a man the cannon's turn. Maybe it's just set up the Robins. sadly not going to get our big vines play, but that's okay. Now we are very much using just health as a resource in this matchup. But we are officially hitting the point. Oh boy, and now he's got his own living vines out there. Okay, so this is probably the man the cannon's turn. We're just going to keep sitting on this document fairy for a while here. So first things first, we need to pop this. Then we cannons. Do I beast mode? Yeah, I think we beast mode. Oh, I don't think I can afford to lose more health here. I don't want to... I mean, look, we're moving him down here. It's just now a question of whether we're beast moding. I think it's worth beast moding, actually, just to get extra Robin's procs. So we're going to do that. Don't want this bear hog to attack a peasant, so we need to make sure we play this peasant out of reach. I wanted to save that that beast mode for his fairy queen, but you know what? That's okay. Ah, dang. Didn't get the double Robin's proc, and now I've left myself open to that command the cannons. That's okay. That's okay. Okay, a Maldron. Not having a... Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh. Okay, yeah, that's his fourth beast mode. That monster. Okay. So, yeah, I think this is... It's document time. Boy, our health is getting a little... I'd like to be able to play Man the Cannons this turn, but it's not going to happen. We need to kill this Maldron and then Man the Cannons next turn. Ooh, boy. Okay. Alright, so... Almost didn't get to kill that Maldron. Alright, so now squirrels are going to really mess me up. Like, there's a chance I do just lose... Well, no, I don't lose because they're going to lose Sniper and... Okay, but I am in danger. I am in danger. We've got a very nice follow-up if we, you know, we played a little risky with our health here, trying to secure the late game. You know, we very much used health as a resource. Ooh, is Fairy Queen going to live through the turn? That would be nice. No, she's not. Okay, that could... I am in trouble here. I'm definitely in trouble. It's not lost, but this is gonna be tough. If one of these fairies survives, ooh, do I hold off on the Man the Cannons and go for the Fairy Queen document play again? Yeah, maybe I do. Maybe I do just hold off on the Man the Cannons. We'll see here. Yeah, okay, so the Fairy Queen absorbed that nicely. Yeah, no, we're gonna forget Man the Cannons, we're gonna get another... Well, the dance... Yeah, no, yeah, that's the play, that's the play. There's lots of reasons for it, but that's what we're doing. Whew! Almost didn't get to kill that angel. That would have been bad. He is down. He's down all 4 of his beast modes. He's down his Maldron. and he's running out of cards. So our sacrificial castle health may be securing this late game. You know, things didn't quite work out how we were wanting them to often there. Yeah, no. And I was very conscious of the order I killed things in. Made sure that obnoxious parrot did not get much value there. And you know, this is exactly why I don't like running the super dedicated last will version, simply because you lose up on so much combo potential. Okay, now we have a very beautiful cannon's turn. We probably play the Gorilla Fighter first. Maybe I don't play the cannons. Maybe I just go ahead and sacrifice the Fairy Queen. Yeah, it's a good time. We're out of documents. We want her to be... And if we get a Chain Lightning here, you know, we may not want to use the... Okay, we didn't get Chain Lightning, so man the cannons it is. And we can even get a nice little top off on heals there. So, I mean, basically you're describing, like, just rush there, Cookie. That's not a timing tempo. You're mostly describing rush, which I generally dislike in both as a concept and playing as or against. That being said, there are versions of that type of deck that I really like. You know, that's the type of deck that things like Drawmoth can shine in. Like, you don't want to be playing a deck like that that doesn't have a backup plan. If you're playing a deck that's like dumping out its hand, it's because you've got something to refill it, like Maldron and similar, or we're down to the last 7 cards in our deck. This deck actually has insane amounts of draw power. Like, the fact that, you know, I'm only just now running out of cards at this point in the game, it means this is not a deck that, you know, runs out of cards because it's got a low curve. This deck has a crazy amount of draw power. Now, I think we've secured this game just because, you know, he didn't get big giant value plays. I did. I was willing to sacrifice my castle health and be patient. He went in for that early game issue. I think we'll take the post. Oh, yeah. Ooh, we might get a nice Genesis Maldron play. So now Interstellar is playing like a perfectly valid and fun version of this deck, but like we're highlighting all the reasons why I stopped playing that version in favor of like the hyper combo version. Yeah, because remember, my hand is one more than it looks like too, because it's Dagger Storm draws. Like I'm about to run out of deck before I run out of cards in my hand. Oh, okay, he got to do. Alright, so we're just gonna Genesis it up here. Alright, well this actually does do some interesting things. Do I still have a parrot left in the deck? I think I do. I think because I have a parrot. Okay, so we're in a very unusual. Alright, so 3, 6, 7. I can't. Okay, that's fine. We're going to go ahead. Okay, we know we're Genesising our Maldron. Does Genesis copy activation state? Oh, fuck! Nope. I did not even notice the trap. I really needed to Dagger Storm first. Yes, yeah. Pumpkith is 100% right. I may have just cost myself the game with a very, very foolish choice there. Unfortunate. Most unfortunate. That was very much easily avoidable, but I did not even notice the trap. We even knew he plays Cancel Magic because we ran into it earlier, and now, because of that, we may have thrown. Still anybody's game, though. But, yeah, I had what could have been a very nice game-securing play there, and I wasted it, especially when it was easy to... Not only did I waste it, I lost my family-friendly stream title there for a moment. Hey, Rat Lord, thanks for stopping by. Well, we had this game, like, secured in the bag, but we just... Ooh boy, we made a big mistake there. I think we are still favored, but... Oh, he had another Fairy Queen. Okay, well, nope. Well, okay, I do have an Obnoxious Parrot. So, it still could go either way here, but this ain't looking good, that's for sure. I should have had this game very secured, but mistakes have happened. Alright, Parrot, what do you got for me? Chain Lightning, but I can't reach. But I can reach if I... No, Maldron is going to fill that spot, unfortunately. No, I mean, we have to kill his Maldron regardless, because we're just going to get in trouble if we don't. Time. Maybe we don't. Maybe we just, yeah, we just go for face damage. We get the owlbear out. Kill one of these squirrels here. Get our owlbear out, and we don't want to play this skeletal pirate because we might still have a parrot. No, I think we've used both our parrots, but I don't know. I'm just not doing it right now. Meta's a strong word, because it's not popular, but I do believe there is a rat deck that can absolutely compete with the best, and that is the green-purple King Kaiju rat building deck. I think that deck absolutely can compete with the best of them right now. Oh, come on. Okay, kill the Maldron! Kill the Maldron! Don't let the Maldron hit my face! So mainly it offers the ramp building, which is such a clean curve into King Kaiju. And in addition to that, like, pirates are just got some insane cards between Robins, Daggerstorm, Man the Cannons. But the big thing is it gives you building ramp versus... Oh, no. Kaji Resurrection is a silly gimmick deck. I think it has almost no chance of winning the tournament because there are so many things that just completely shut it down, in addition to it just having the chance to shut itself down by not drawing Kaji. Like, it is a fun and silly gimmick, but it is not like a tournament winning deck. Like, between Beast Mode, War Party, Season of Growth, or just not drawing Kaji, that deck is not consistent enough to win the tournament. It is powerful, it is fun, it is cool, but it is not going to be what wins. Definitely not. No, you can't make rats your only game plan, Rat Lord. You need to make them supplemental. But as long as you go for a supplemental game plan, like they definitely have some potential here. Alright, I need to be very cautious of this. Do I go for the face damage? Or do I clean out that lightning? It can be a big part of your game plan. Okay, it can be your primary game plan, you just also need to have a backup plan. I think I need to go for face damage. Oh boy, this is definitely a tricky position to be in. Okay, I need to be careful of where this lightning fairy can reach. I think we need to go for the face damage simply because... Oh, that was a big fairy. Mistakes have been made. Mistakes have been made. This is fine. I need to be very cautious of that lightning fairy. Oh, I don't know what... I've tried a good handful of OTK lists. There's some very strong ones out there. This is going to be a very close game. I should have had this game easy, but I threw, as I tend to do when I'm on stream. And failed to get the game-winning play because I was distracted and didn't notice a trap. At least we didn't end up playing into the Lightning Fairy, so that's good. This game... I don't know what's in my deck, actually. Yeah, after this match, which is a shame, this should have been very easily our game, but I messed it up so bad, as I tend to do when I'm on stream and not notice little things like traps. And despite his polluted deck here, he's still managed to get lucky with his parrot and document for. Of course, he's also like on his he got so much value out of his robins, and I got kind of robbed. But you know, it happens. It's been a fun match. It's still not over. It should have been. I should have had the second Maldron and had a very clear victory there, but it happens. Especially on stream. Oh, if I don't have AoE in my deck, it may be game over. If I've got Man the Cannons left... Well, no, because I still may have now lost to the... Ooh, okay, parrot. Oh no, I played the pirate. I played the pirate. Yeah, we can look at that after this. Okay. No, unfortunately, I have made one too many errors. If I wasn't playing on stream, I can almost guarantee I would have won this round, but I played the pirate instead of... I thought I'd used both parrots, so I was safe to play the pirate. Well, no, like, even hard counters aside, even it potentially bricking its draw, just any deck that has good tempo still messes it up. No, Screams is not meta because Maldron says Screams doesn't work. So, Screams is kind of... Like, Elephant was good tech that people could run, but unfortunately, Maldron has like completely pushed Screams out of the meta. That being said, so Screams isn't meta, but like there are some very good Crusader, or there are some very good Necromancer control decks still. Uh, but after this match, we can take a look at Rats. I stand by that. I absolutely would have 100% won this game if I wasn't on stream, and I would have not had my Genesis canceled by cancel magic there. And then I also messed up with the parrot play too. Oh well, it happens. It's all in good fun. I think I'm still very clearly running the superior version of that deck, and I highlighted why, but I had a combination of bad luck and mostly distracted streamer mode of me missing some really obvious game-winning plays there. But oh well, it happens. Okay. Anyways, for Rat Lord's benefit, we will take a break from this stream's purpose, which was to highlight the Last Will list, and go look at my Kings list. It probably still needs a little bit of optimizing, but I absolutely believe that this deck can compete with the best of them. That's something I was probably planning on getting around to highlighting eventually, but this deck has some very nasty tricks up its sleeve here. You know, we've got your Hidden in the Walls and your Rat King, but yeah, and our Brewery. This deck has some very, very nasty potential and a lot of really cool tricks going on. So, Merchant's Estate curves perfectly into a turn 5 King Kaiju. And that's, one of the big draws of, Pirates in this list. But of course, Pirates supplying one-sided AoE, like the Daggerstorm Cosmic Equation trick, or of course just the incredible brokenness of Dread Pirate Robins, and just the staple of Man the Cannons. This deck has some really cool things going on. Like, its big thing is, playing a couple buildings to get that early King Kaiju, and then you Mooncaster that King Kaiju. And that is a very fun little trick you can do there. You can also, because you're playing a rat deck, you can also just kind of flood your side of the board and prevent King Kaiju from even coming back after your buildings. You have just enough bodies on this. Harker is a good card, but like, I don't need ramp. Harker does very little for this deck. Harker is just annoying, but not like necessary for this list. I don't need ramp. My curve is so low that Harker's really not doing me any favors. There's nothing in here that I would want to take out for Harker, despite how good of a card he is. But yeah, no, this deck is all about the kings. This is the king deck. King Kaiju and Rat King, they are best of friends. And yeah, so you've got some really nasty plays between just good old Mooncaster King Kaiju, or flooding your board so much that King Kaiju cannot come back and mess up your day. Of course, you've just got the entire bounce package, so you can repeatedly bounce Rat King, or Kaji, or Sakya. Speaking of Sakya, Rat King replacing a rat and leaving a couple 0-cost rats in your hand. Let Sakya do some really nasty things and get big. Yeah, unfortunately, and yeah, Wotan is kind of key to Wotan's just crazy in general. Yeah, if you're unfortunately, yeah, those are really important cards for this deck. But like, this is the meta rat deck that absolutely can compete with, pretty much anything else in the meta here. Let's take it for a spin. This is supposed to be a deck showcase stream for Clematis, my Queen of the Vines Last Will deck, but let's just take a break, have some fun, do some king matching, and maybe we'll call it a day there. So I've got a little bit of time to decompress between here and the tournament. Well, we've done plenty of Last Will highlighting as it is. I'm kind of salty for my last loss. That should have been a slam dunk victory for me, but I messed it up. So we'll close the stream out with a little break from that for a little bit of funny good stuff here with the meta rat deck. Okay, so let's see here. So we like Brewery, like Merchant's Estate. What am I playing in the tournament? I am hosting and casting the tournament. I am not playing. If I was playing, I would probably be playing Viking Pirate Ramp, because I think that's the best deck in the game right now. We don't need Man the Cannons right now, but I think we're pretty happy with the rest of this hand. No, we don't need Sakya this early either. Sakyo, we want a little bit later in the game, so... Okay, let's see here. Okay, so I think we can do... we do turn 1 Brewery. No, I'm not sharing that sauce yet. Viking Pirate Ramp is some secret sauce that I'm saving either for a big showcase day or for when I'm playing in a tournament. We're not sharing that right now because, I don't want to share what I think is the best deck in the game hours before the tournament. And I'm not worried about talking about it though, because I went through a dozen different variations of it before finding its really strong core. And there are a lot of weaker versions of the deck and a lot of ways to mess up the deck, so I'm not too worried about just alluding to it, but I don't want to be spoiling that shortly before the tournament. So yeah, we've got a very nice, curve going on here. We've got like the double buildings that'll transfer into the hidden in the walls, very nice, and not too much later we'll have Sakya. If we're lucky, we will draw a King Kaiju here. King Kaiju would just complete what we have going on right now. Because it's a King Kaiju list, I absolutely do not want to be attacking the supply depot. We're going to go ahead and badger this rat here. So we're going to start saving up some rats in our hand for a big Sakya play. We are not going to play this rat right now. We are saving that for later. That is a secret tool for later. But yeah, no, Rat Lord, there is absolutely a meta rat deck, and this is it. Badger's a great card. Oh, did he really multi-striked our Merchant's Estate? How rude. Ooh, there's the Rat King. Okay, yeah, we're saving up for a very nice Sakya play. But yeah, no, you can't just have rats as your only game plan. You need to supplement them with some synergy, and doing Sakya and Wotan and King Kaiju is what makes this deck so good. You know, I was saving this I was saving this deck for you, Ratlord. For you. I wasn't going to stream it. I wasn't going to play it or share it in the meta. I was waiting till you were back around so that I could show you rats are incredibly powerful right now. Rakanoth is a pretty solid card. And we are saving up for a very big Sakya play very soon here. Big Sakya is coming. Very big Sakya. And I think we're just going to hang tight. We're just going to keep building up this Sakya play. I probably don't want to go too crazy with her though, because like we are up against ninjas, so like she's 100% going to die immediately. So I probably should dial back on that for the moment and start working on just a little more tempo play here, but we'll see what happens here. Alright, Cosmic Equation, like, just with rats is rude, but we've also got the Dagger Storm. Like, now this deck's got a lot of really cool, really tricky things going on, and I think this deck can absolutely compete with the best of them. I really hope you get back into the game, Ratlord. I will send you this deck code after this, because rats are very good right now. Very good. Yeah, Beastly might be on Angel Kaji because, again, I do not think Angel Kaji is a tournament-worthy deck. It's a very cool and fun deck, but it's not actually good. Like, it can just screw itself over by not drawing Kaji, and there's too many things that mess it up. But it's very fun, very cool. Oh, pretty early into days there. Let's see here. Not an ideal hidden in the walls, but, you know, that's okay. Yeah, I am really probably going overkill on this. Well, it's not overkill because I've got the Mooncaster. I get to do giant Sakya followed up by Mooncaster. That's another big fancy trick this deck can do. So we're preparing. We're preparing for some nastiness. Unfortunately, this is not an ideal matchup because of the whole ninjas have a million removal cards, but now we're going to at least do some cool stuff. And rats are very much a big part of the key to this list here. It's time. Big. I probably, so I'm showboating. If I was smart, I would have saved some of those rats in my hand so that the next Sakia could have been good, but I'm just having too much fun showing off with how crazy of plays this deck can make. Considering the matchup we are in, I should have split that in half and saved about half of those rats in my hand, so I could just do that again next turn. But that's okay. Like, we can save up and do something a little crazy. If he doesn't have his second end of days, like, it's just game over. If he does have the second end of days, well, we messed up because we wanted to showboat and show some of the crazy things this deck can do. Oh, is he going to do Cosmic, I don't quite follow what you're saying there, Cookie. Okay, yep. Nah. Yeah, this... So we're probably going to call it a day there. I'm going to just look at the list a little bit more, so talk about some of its other really crazy tricks it can do. Yeah, no, because I even did silly streamer plays against him, but like, no, this deck is incredibly powerful. Just abusing the bounce mechanic with Sakia, Kage, Wotan, and King Kaiju, with rats being just a powerful backdrop, mixed with it's just got so much cool stuff, and there's a lot. It's a high skill deck, because it's got a lot of little things you need to consider and a lot of micro combos. But it's very powerful and can definitely compete with pretty much anything else in the game. Like this is 100% a meta rat deck that might even be in top 5 decks. It's really good. It does have a couple weak points. I've completely skipped healing entirely. So it is very vulnerable to burn. This deck will probably kind of roll over and die to blue-red Viking burn. But aside from that, it's got a good chance. Because, just AoE decks, they don't bother at all. Like, oh no, you wiped my rats with your man the cannons. Well, that did nothing to King Kaiju or, the Sakia. So it's not vulnerable to AoE, but it is vulnerable to AoE burns. So, its glowing red weak point is Viking Warlock burn, but luckily those aren't too popular right now, simply because some of the big 3 decks that I'm expecting are going to be dominating the tournament, like the green-white Last Will, the yellow the yellow-purple Joan-Vive list, and of course Pirate Viking Ramp. Those decks are all really good against burn and aggro, so they're probably going to choke that out of the meta. So this King deck, very similar to the purple-yellow list, is in a really good spot right now, because there is one thing that can mess it up really bad, but that's been choked out of the meta. So for the same reason I'm expecting Ninja Joan-Vive to possibly dominate this tournament, is the same reason it's a really good time to play this King deck, because it's really fun, really powerful, and the one thing that really messes it up isn't super common right now. So I think we're going to call that a day here, and we'll all be getting back together here in a couple hours for tournament stream. So I hope we'll all see you then. That'll be over on Red's channel, because he has much nicer production quality than I do. But I will be co-casting with Red in a couple hours here. I hope you all have fun, and we will see you then.